You're about to witness one of the rarest pieces of chess content on YouTube. I have personally never seen anything like this as a chess YouTuber under the name The Chess Nerd for 4 years. I'm about to show you 2 classical chess games from my last tournament that were played by a confirmed cheater. These games were individually sent to me by the victims who got their entire tournament spoiled, and they were nice enough to include notes accompanying the games detailing their testimony against this cheater. The last game is the one in which the cheater got caught, being completely winning in the final position, but forced to forfeit the game. Video of the entire story from my perspective will be up here. It's 2 minutes long and it's a joyride. I'm basically jotting with other content creators. Very, very fun video. And at the very end of this video, we have a voice note testimony from the cheater catcher. He basically tells the story in a voice note. It's very interesting. The first game I have for you was submitted to me by Rafael himself, who actually played me in the round prior to this one. And the next round, after losing to me, he has to play a cheater. Sad times. His opponent opened with d4, knight f6, bishop f4, c5, e3. So far so good. It's like a Benoni style game. C takes, e takes, and now queen b6. I guess there's still, in theory, there's no notes so far on whatever this is. So knight a3 is played. I personally don't know this line at all. Knight d5. Okay, the knight's attacking the bishop. So far it looks pretty normal to me. I mean, bishop c1. Okay, that doesn't look like a normal move. Maybe this is still theory. The bishop is defending the pawn that the queen is attacking, right? So it seems quite normal. e6. Knight c4. I've never seen a game like this in my life. I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe I just don't know theory, but that's just me. So queen c7, knight e3. So this knight has moved 1, 2, 3 times in the space of 8 moves. Not normal. Knight f6. So we have our first testimony. This opening line is the one chosen by the engine. I'm not sure if he already started cheating or if he just prepared well. Where the game becomes really strange is more towards the end. So knight f3 by the opponent, b6, bishop e2, bishop e7, developing our piece on the nice diagonal, c3, and now bishop e7. Castles, castles, rook e1, d6, and then bishop d3. I like this d6 move by Raf, taking up this e5 square so that this knight is a bit contained. Bishop d3 is a normal move to play a second time in the opening, to redirect the bishop among a better diagonal. However, we have some notes by Raf. This bishop d3 is a top engine move because he misplaced it originally on e2. Yeah, it happens that you actually move a piece twice, but it is an engine idea for sure. It's not like normal theory that you actually move a piece twice by design. However, he continues, and I quote, "It seems strange that he would understand that and have the courage to waste a whole tempo on it." So for some context, the cheater, I won't say the exact number, I don't want to reveal who the name or who it was, but the cheater is in the 1400 to 1500 range, and Raf, as you can see on the screen, has like 300 points over him. So it's not normal that, like, this is a pretty high level concept if he were to play it. So Raf being 300 points higher is already suspicious of this because no 14 to 1500 would play this. So knight bd7, knight f5. This is a really nice move, going on the pin of this pawn, so that if pawn takes knight, rook takes. White doesn't win anything, but just activates a very nice rook, and also doubles these pawns here. So this is a really nice move. Overall, black has to just move the bishop away. I quote, "I incorrectly allowed this knight f5, but it is very findable, not a cheater move." I completely agree. Bishop d8, knight g3, and now rook e8. Okay, so this bishop is bad, but I think you can just reestablish it on the next move, and then there's no knight f5. So bishop g5, bishop e7, and now a4. Oh, wow. The pawn is coming down the a-file, very typical plan. Especially minority attack against these structures, very nice. a6, very good move. He wants to meet a5 with b5 and just establish a strong structure against this bishop and hint at the weak c4 square. I like this by Raf. h3 is played, and now I quote, "In the analysis, I asked him what the point of h3 was." Raf asked the cheater after the game if he wanted to analyze the game, and the cheater said yes, which is crazy. If I was cheating in a game, I would never say yes. But anyways, in the analysis, I asked him what the point of h3 was, because I didn't see anything besides creating space for the king, and I thought it was a bit strange and a waste of a tempo. So he's saying, apart from just giving this king like some non-back rank checkmate things, he doesn't see the point of h3, because h3 is usually against a bishop g4 that's pinning here, or something against a knight hopping to g4, but these are not really in black's plans at all. Like knight g4 here would just be like a weird, strange, bad move. And so h3, why is h3 played? He also didn't say there was any idea beside that, but I'm not going to accuse him of anything here, even though it's the second computer line. It's a normal move. Okay. Bishop f8, nice. Rook c1, h6, and bishop p3. g6, this is very typical. It's a mistake. Wow, it's a mistake by black. Very typical to fianchetto the bishop. And it says the way to punish is knight h4. Wow. It's very computer-like, the idea here. This wasn't played, by the way, but it's very instructive, I guess. Knight h4, and you're saying, like, where's this knight going? It's not going to g6, not going to f5. And after bishop g7 to complete development, it's knight takes g6. An absolute brilliancy. After pawn takes, bishop takes, and white has enough for the two pawns with a crushing attack and pressure along these weaknesses here. There's like so many weaknesses created. So that's why this was a weak move. However, his opponent played knight h2. And I quote, here it starts getting funny. Had I played e5, the best move instead of g6, knight h2 was the prepared response. Because this is how it works, right? You can get out of your chair when it's your opponent's turn. So when he was cheating, you know, he plays the move, he memorizes the position, or he has the position in his phone, and he has to go on his opponent's turn. So he's anticipating his opponent's best move. So what Raf here is saying is that the best move here was e5 for black. So his opponent anticipated that and saw that this is, allegedly, this is the best move by Stockfish. And on g6 anyways, knight h2 is what he played. This thing of him confusing the lines in the game happened a couple more times later. And I understand it. Because maybe he had time to check one line and he checked only the best line by black, and he prepared the best line by white. So g6, knight h2 was played, and then e5. So now Raf actually plays the best move here, very nice, and equalizes. Knight g4, king h7, knight takes f6, knight takes f6, and then bishop f1. What? Okay, this is also the first time I'm seeing this game. This is ridiculous to me. But it's not a good move. So it's, yeah, okay. So it's on par. Knight d5, very nice move. Yeah. You're threatening the bishop pair, maybe f5, f4 is coming in. I like this. So small edge for black here, actually. Bishop d2, bishop g7, and c4 by white, attacking the knight. And I quote, around this point is when he started really to take over. I also started noticing he was getting up from the board every move, but I didn't think much of it. Knight f4. I think like white, if you gave me just this position and no evaluation, obviously we all have the evaluation here on the left of the screen, I would say that black is doing fine. But actually white is doing almost +1, which means almost a pawn up. d5, wow! This is a very good move. It's not that high level though, but it's a very good move. You're completely intoxifying this bishop here on b7, and it has no room to breathe, no space to conquer. This knight, however, is very nice still. a5, oof, I don't like that move. Because here this b5 square is extremely weak. I just imagine like a knight completely colonizing this part of the board. Knight e4, this is a very nice blockade. Rook f8, and now b4. And I quote, around this point, he also started playing his moves almost instantly as he got to the board after being off of it, so after being out of the board during my time thinking, which I found really weird, a 1400 finding such good moves for the rest of the game so fast without even being there. Okay, so takes, bishop takes, rook f d8 defending the d6 pawn, and now knight c3. You see? You see? I guess I play like Stockfish. I think like Stockfish, bruv. Yo, I'm kind of proud I found that. Serious matters, though. Bishop c8, knight b5 attacking the queen. Queen b8, and now queen b3. Bishop f5, and I quote, "He told me that he was expecting bishop a6 to trade on b5, which seems awful to me because of c takes b5. Yeah, this is true. Turns out that's what the engine wants me to play. Wow, that's surprising to me too. I also thought I was much worse after bishop f5, but maybe it had better chances of counterplay with the ideas of pushing e4. No, bishop f5 seems quite normal to me. I mean, normally you'd want f5 because it's just really nice. e4 is more solid. But your bishop is bad. I mean, it's either this or this looks very dubious to me. Like, this plan looks like you want to lose. So anyways, he played bishop f5 because he's not using an engine. Rook a1, and now e4, opening up this bishop. And I quote after bishop c3. "This is the position where he told me that bishop e5 was best. Of course, still very much worse for black. The move is findable, and I should have played it due to how bad the other options are." Bishop e5 just looks atrocious. But his opponent in the post-game analysis, as he's saying, said that this is the best move for black. Like, affirmatively. I would not play this. Why are you giving a protected pass pawn to the white pieces? It is the best engine move, though. So that for me is just as 100% sure that this guy was cheating. That's like all the proof I need to know. But for 1400, to anticipate bishop e5 as my best move, doubling my pawns and allowing a protected passer, so after bishop here, doubling my pawns and allowing a protected passer seems insane. That's what he told me the day of. It's completely true. So I'm going to move on because that's atrocious. Anyways, so he took queen takes c3. The problem with this is that the queen is like very, very nice on this diagonal now. And we can feel the weakness, the sheer weakness in these dark squares. So takes, queen takes, g5 was played. And I arrive in like 5 moves from now in real life. So queen f6, and I quote, this is a long paragraph, so bear with me. This queen f6 move is crazy, even though it seems natural because it's not the best move, and I think I know why he played it. My g5 move was not the best. The correct move was queen b7. Okay, so here was queen b7, according to the engine. And there, the best response for white is indeed queen f6. Me and a teammate of mine concluded that he went to check the computer during my time and predicted I would play queen b7 and prepared this queen f6 line, which he played as he got to the board, confusing the lines. As I said prior, he goes to the bathroom on his opponent's turn, and so he's playing, it seems like he was bad at cheating, honestly. Like, he's playing the best move for his opponent's best move, not for the move his opponent actually played. So on g5, queen f6 was played instantly, thinking it was the best move, but this was actually an inaccuracy. Raf responds with bishop g6, defending both attacked pieces, and now g3 attacking this knight. Knight to d3 attacking this rook, but I think just takes, right? Bishop takes. This is a serious mistake by me because it lets him open his rook. Bishop takes, e takes, and then rook e7 was played. And I arrived like here. So imagine it from my shoes, okay? I just won my game. 2 wins in a row, by the way, in that tournament. And I'm walking down the playing hall, the main playing hall, with like 300 games going. And I see like my ex-opponent. So like I go and like, you know, he was still playing and there was not many boards left. So I go like to the left and I go like see what's going on. And he's like down on time and he's like struggling. He's like this. I didn't know his opponent's rating and he wasn't at the board. So I was like, oh, he just got like another bad pairing and he's getting crushed. Like obviously I'm seeing this position because I'm from the cheater's side. So I'm seeing this in real life. And I'm like, oh, this guy's getting crushed. And so it was a surprise to me, especially in this tournament. If you lose a game, you're playing down like 90% of the time. So it was very much a surprise to me that he's getting crushed after a loss. Now I do come back. I come back at another moment, which is the most astonishing part of this story. So knight takes d6, rook a7, and now he's getting crushed. It's like +4 for white. And I quote, "This was probably the position you saw when you passed by." Yes, okay, so this was the position I saw when I passed by. Thank you, Raf. Appreciate you for the notes there. Yes, this is what I saw. He was getting crushed. And I saw it from this perspective, and I think the knight was on f5. Ah, yes. Okay, so I saw this. So think of it from my shoes, bro. I was like, he's getting crushed badly. And this was like an opponent I respected because he was crushing me the day prior. And like maiden 1 is threatened. It's forcing black to get out their main defender. I mean, he's getting crushed. The pieces are so poorly placed. Imagine if this rook comes into the attack, it's over. Protected pass pawn, it's crazy. Rook g8 was played. Rook ae1, d2, attacking the rook, just confusing. I mean, this pawn is gone, but you have to delay the attack as much as possible. Rook d1, and now rook takes e7. Knight takes e7. Queen c7. Now, white is still completely crushing, like +5, but sometimes these advantages, they take a lot of move to convert because this is an advantage, but to convert it, you need to take, you need to push, and make a queen. So knight takes g8. So now white is up the exchange. Oh, I didn't even see that this attacked the rook. What happens if like the rook moves? Then rook takes. Okay. So Raf at this point is just like, I'm just sacking my exchange. I tried sacrificing the rook and hope for some miracle counterplay to happen. You will never guess the result of this game. So knight takes g8. Queen takes c4. What? Okay. So now he's down a full rook. Still attacking the knight though. I see. So he wants that after knight e7, there's like queen here. Attacking the rook and attempting to win. But white still has this. Sacking the rook back. And after queen takes d8, there's just d6. This is awesome. Check, king here. And just check and check in this. So after queen c4, queen c6 was played, and I quote, "This move I don't understand," so white played it. Here he definitely didn't cheat. It gives me some play, of course still lost. I thought he would play queen b2, and I would resign there being an exchange and passed pawn down. So he was about to resign after this move, because even if you take, I mean, it's over. Like, a rook is better than a bishop 10 times. So he plays this, and now Raf is a bit confused because it offers some counterplay. Queen e2, attacking the rook. Rook takes, he sacks the rook back, and now he recovers his knight. Ooh, what? So now Raf is equalized. Congrats. King g7, but it's still completely winning for white. Knight e8 check. Another mistake by the white pieces. King f8, and now knight f6. King g7. I tried to repeat, hoping he would draw, and now white takes the pawn. White is still completely winning now. Queen d1 check, king up, queen takes pawn to a4, knight g4 by white. Whoa, and now we're met with like a huge paragraph. And I quote, "Now this move is the funniest move of the game and completely gives away that he cheated." Oh, as if before was not already concrete. What happened in the game was he came to the board after my move. Okay, so now he comes to the board after Raf plays this. Grabbed the knight right away, hovered it over the e8 square, ready to play it, but as he is about to do it, he noticed that it hangs the knight. So he puts it back on f6. And he was forced to play the only knight move that didn't hang it, and lost the pawn on d5. The knight is now touched, and you can't play the knight to any of these squares because it all gives the knight. So now the alleged cheater plays knight g4. Because it's the only move that doesn't give the knight. I asked him after why did he go knight e8 so fast, and he said he was expecting a different move from me where knight e8 would be good. That just shows he was barely even looking at my moves and just playing his. Me and my teammate assumed he had predicted me to play queen a1 instead of queen takes a4, where knight e8 is the only move that keeps the position at +4. So this is the only winning move on black's best move. But black played a different move covering this square, and white came to the board and played almost this immediately, giving a knight. So now black gobbles, check, this, check, takes. Queen b2 check. And now I arrive to the board once more. His opponent was not there. And I was like, because I have never actually witnessed somebody recover basically being mated to a drawn position. King f8. And they agreed to a draw one move later after I passed by. Crazy. And I quote, "And here even though he can still play for a win with the h6 pawn hanging, he was so annoyed that he let the position slip away that he just offered a draw. I obviously took it." Now, I myself didn't play a good game, but by any means, but it's strange that against a 1400 that barely spent any time at the board, the best position I got was an equal one from the opening, and once he got himself an advantage, he never let go. Until, of course, this last blunder, after which, ironically, he is still a good bit better. Yeah, it's still 0.8. I mean, you can convert this. After the game, since I was having a bit of a bad tournament up until that point, I didn't even consider him being a cheater. Even with the really weird play, never being at the board and so on, playing instantly, and his lack of understanding during the analysis. I really don't know why he accepted my invitation to go analyze the game if he was cheating. I assumed it was just me playing bad chess. Then after the round, the following day, I heard news that he was caught with his phone accused by Kevin. This is the next game. After hearing that, it seemed super obvious and was annoyed that I didn't figure it out myself. So game number 2 is a little bit different because we don't have notes from our person here, Kevin, but he sent me some voice messages that I didn't listen to yet on Instagram, which we'll listen to at the end of this game. And hopefully that'll open our eyes on how he feels. But for now, we have no notes. So I'll just tell you guys how I feel and how I feel this play arose. So c4, our cheater has the black pieces, and this is the next round. So this is round number 5 of the tournament. e6 is played, I play e6, lovely. g3, knight f6, bishop g2, and now d5. Very standard English opening. C takes, e takes, d4, and now bishop e7. So black is just developing their kingside minor pieces in hopes for a quick castle, and eventually playing against the grain of this bishop here on the long diagonal. Knight f3, continuing development, castles, castles. c6, very nice. This so far is standard, absolutely 0% chance of cheating. Knight c3, knight bd7, rook e1, and now rook e8. Okay, so far so good. Black is playing very decently. There's no reason for me to believe anyone's cheating here. Let me know in the comments if you already think that it's a bit nauseous. Bishop f4, knight f8, knight e5. Bishop f5, continuing development, fine. f3, preparing e4, scary actually. But black has c5 here and is quite better actually. Just a good edge, 0.5. Knight g6 is played, however. e4. Okay. Attacking the bishop. Knight takes f4. G takes f4. D takes e4. Which is a mistake. Big mistake. Giving up a full advantage to the white pieces. F takes e4. So what I would definitely say from seeing this play, if he cheated in this game, I don't know about this game, I'm pretty sure about the last game, is that he would cheat periodically. So he would not like go every single move to the bathroom, but he would go quite often for the important moments. So attacking the bishop here, bishop c8, and now king h1. Okay, I mean, white has a very nice center and has a small plus here. So bishop c8. Why not bishop e6, f5, right? And why not bishop d7? Because bishop c8 is kind of the last move you would play. It's the last move you expect. It is the best move, but I would play this before playing this. Like, this is Point Nemo over here. Anyways, I find this a little bit strange. And it's the best move. I find that strange, actually. King h1, bishop d6, bishop f3. So opening up the file for this rook. I like white. A lot of good plans. So far, I wouldn't be like suspicious if I saw this blindfold. So bishop c7, queen b3 here. A nice activity by the queen and knight. Black now eliminates the knight here. The last few moves have been quite on par. I feel like black knew that they lost their advantage, and like here, this is an excellent move. This is an excellent move. And then like moving a bishop twice in a row were excellent, and this was the best move, granting a small edge. You're moving a piece 3 times in a row to save, like, and you were less advantageous 3 moves ago. F takes c5. And now black is better. Back to -1. Knight g4, and he finds it. Only move that gets black a small advantage. And it's a very findable move. I mean, the queen's coming in and threatening mate. The bishop is really nice, defending from c8. And overall, this is super weak, like this side of the board. So black is fully small advantage. Rook f1, and now queen takes d4. Whoa. Oh, this was hanging. So takes, this was hanging. So he's threatening this, and he's threatening this. Okay, I'm understanding now. Rook f1, and now takes. So now white is down a pawn. Bishop takes, queen takes f7. Wow. Oh, so Kevin played rook f1, so that after queen takes d4, takes, and then queen takes f7, and the rook defends the queen on f7. That's crazy. King h8. So now it's theoretically equal, but I would say black is like theoretically up a pawn because this pawn is falling, and then this pawn will be weak, so he's like kind of like almost up 2 pawns in the next moves. Queen f4. Defending, not really though. You'll take eventually. So bishop back to e6. Bishop h5 was a bit better, like about 0.6 points better. Rook a1 attacking the queen. Queen c5. By the way, this is the first time I'm seeing this game. I just want to say that out loud. If I'm not understanding concepts, if I'm slow, it's because this is a blindfold watch. Queen c5. And now rook g1. So black is formulating some counterplay against this king is what I'm getting. Rook e7 to defend. Really solid. Rook d6. Rook a e8. And queen g3. Threatening to take here and mate here if the rook takes back. So bishop c8. Good defensive move. Yeah, it's the best move. e6. So I don't understand this. Anyways, g6 is played. Oh, this was inaccurate. Okay, so g6 was played. Rook g8 was the best move, but I guess this will do. Third best move is g6. Queen f4. Rook takes e6. Rook g d1. Rook d6, rook d6. And now black is -2 because they've won a pawn, so they're up a pawn, and this pawn is weak. And the bishop for knight is a bit better for black. Bishop h3. Very, very nice move. The best move, but there are 3 moves that are very, very good, so nothing crazy. Queen f6 check, so king g8, rook d8, takes, queen f8, threatening mate and the queen. So this forces a queen trade, right? And now we get to the endgame. And black is only up a pawn, but it's -2, meaning in an endgame, this pawn is super, super weak because black has traded off a lot of pieces, and the ways to defend this pawn are very minimal. In fact, if you get the king here, so 1, 2, 3, and you get a bishop here, this pawn is not defended enough and it's falling. And you can always keep this pawn attacked. Like the king can be very solidly placed on e5, and then the knight and king that will defend it will be completely immobilized, fixed, ice cold. So king g1, it's a race to defend or attack e5. e4. Bishop c4, king f2, and then the kings come to the center. a3 to liberate the knight, I guess. King e5. Yeah, I think e3. Okay. Everything's like losing. It's like very... Like once black makes their 3-on-2 felt here and then brings the pressure on e4 and then makes their 2-on-1 felt here, it's like super winning. King e5, this is the move, really nice. Knight d1, g5, yeah. Knight f2, h5, knight h3, and then king f6. And overall, we're going to concretize this advantage by creating a pass pawn, knight f2, b6, b4, and black resigned. Talk about a plot twist. So here, I guess, black got caught and forced to forfeit the game. Now, this wasn't like crazy obvious that there was cheating in this one. However, we have testimony by voice from Kevin, who literally wants me to make this video. Like, this guy was like for justice, like, please. So this is what we have for voice recordings, and let's listen to the first one, 51 seconds.
So, in the beginning, we both blitzed out some of the opening moves. But then he started going away from the board, like every move or every 2 moves. He just went away to some space. And in that space, there is just like a toilet and the second playing hall. So I did not suspect because he could just see a friend's game in the second playing hall. So that's what I thought. Like, oh, okay, he's just checking a friend's game. But then he did that every move. And when he came from there, he just blitzed out every move, basically. And then the next move, he would think of it.
Pause. That's the exact same testimony as I heard from last game. Like the exact same. Like every move is going out of his chair. Next.
There's a point where like it switches a lever in my head. Where this position is like, I was completely threatening f7, just like a scared position. And he came from the toilet and just, from that space, I didn't know it was a toilet, and just blitzed out queen takes d4. And I was like, no, you can't do that, I will take on f7. And it was a really scary position. But he, after like 5 or 6 moves, he got away with it. So I thought, okay, there's something suspicious here.
Holy shit! Okay, yo, this is like a fucking movie, bro. Okay.
Then I had to follow him to see where he was going. If he was really going to see some friend's game, or just really to the toilet. The first time I went to the second play hall, he was not there, and when I came back, I saw him getting from the toilet. And the second time, I just waited for him, like in the crossway from the toilet and the playing hall, and he just came from the toilet, and then I just reported to the arbiters, to the referees. They followed him like 3 times to the toilet, and he was just like going every 2 moves or every move from my game to the toilet. So they suspected too, and they just asked him to come to a private room, where they asked him to search him, and they found the phone, and he was forced to resign my game, and then he was banned from the tournament.
Yeah, so the aftermath is that after round 5, this person was banned from the tournament. All of their, like, just like no pairings, all of their, like, not paired. And I believe the tournament has dealt with this. They sent this appeal to FIDE, and FIDE will see how long or if they ban the guy. And yeah, that's the entire story. Don't cheat. Don't cheat in chess. It's a huge epidemic right now, online, in person. It will follow you, and it will create repercussions on your opponents for the rest of their lives. So don't do it. Make the world a better place. And I hope this was a good video. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.